And in the upper left on this one-on-one map, this very, very new map, we have the most accomplished player of all time. He is
LGIM MVP.
And in the bottom right, we have the underdog, not just of this best of three, but I'd say the underdog of this entire group. Can he overcome these odds? He is
CJN to Bbyong.
I like that jacket.
Yeah,
That's a cool jacket.
That's a pretty cool one.
The zipper's on the side, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little bit to the side there.
I dig that.
It's a good style.
You know, Seoul is a very fashionable city.
It truly is.
It is. We were a couple of frump nerds when we first got
frump nerds. We were a couple of frump nerds. We
were frump nerds, man. So we came down here.
Look, if you call yourself a frump nerd, what was I? I was the frumpiest.
You were like
frumps.
a frump-a-lump nerd, man.
I was a frump-a-lump.
You were frumpalumpicus.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Oh my God, that's so funny. But yeah, that's very true. And you know what? A lot of these teams have.
Actually, Seoul is actually one of the fashion capitals of the world.
Is it?
It's like Milan, Seoul. I mean, there's a few others. I think Tokyo is considered a fashion capital.
Yeah.
Or maybe there's one of the Japanese. Maybe Osaka is considered more of a fashion capital. I'm not sure now.
Well, I mean, this is where Nessie
Paris
lives. And one day, everyone will just wear LGIM T-shirts and Bugim hats.
And wear glasses.
Yeah.
Prescription glasses.
It's totally what I'm going as for Halloween next year.
I should have gone as a Reaver for Halloween.
A Reaver?
Just like crawling around on the floor.
Yeah.
Making sounds.
Should have made my baby a Reaver.
All right, we got the SCV now being driven out. Both players so far are very similar builds.
Yeah, we do have for Bbyong a reactor, so it looks like he wants to go Reaper expand here.
This is always the unorthodox build for TDT. Not that there's anything wrong with it, you just don't see it as much.
Yeah,
It's never been the build that everybody's doing. I don't know why.
It's
just like the possibility that you lose that Reaper early, and then you're like, well, I'm at a disadvantage now.
I guess if you know someone does this a lot, it's not that hard to stop. You
just put your Marines in the right spot.
Yeah,
shoot it as it jumps up.
I mean, the nice thing you can say about it is that it gets you stim really quickly, or combat shields based upon what you want to do.
That is true, yeah.
And I feel like that's one of the main reasons people still do the Reaper expands. And of course, every now and then, once in a blue moon, you will just randomly get like 4 SCV kills with it, which is pretty sick.
Yeah, especially for early game.
Yeah.
And stop SCVs from mining.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm happy to see it.
That's all I want, Artosis, is for you to be happy.
Well, that's all I want, too, is for me to be happy.
Oh, man. It's pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Looks like that Marine spotted the SCV down there. The factory's halfway done here. And we're going to have pretty heavy bio here from Bbyong.
Yeah.
Early on, now the Reaper's going to come up onto the high ground. The Marines deny it, and it goes back down.
Yeah. And, well, we'll see what type of intel you can get. You didn't even get to see the factory, so that's a little bit annoying. This Reaper really hasn't done what it was intended to. It will keep MVP a little bit on the defensive, though, which is nice.
All right, well-hidden SCV over here.
Yeah, I guess so.
He will see when the third base is taken, or if he wants to scout the second.
Yeah,
I think say when the army pushes out.
Sneak in at some point here. MVP. You know what? I bet you he just goes mech again. I really do.
Yeah, I totally agree.
He's going up to his starport. He's getting Hellions. I think he's going to start pumping out some Vikings as well.
I thought we were going to see something kind of extraordinary from Bbyong this game because the maps.
Well, I wonder if he found something interesting.
Maybe
on this
like
map.
mid-game or late game. There's some positioning.
Yeah,
control.
Here's the thing. For the vast majority of my practice, I just play on the ladder.
As do most people for practice.
Yeah. In fact, a lot of pro gamers do that, which is a mistake. But
yeah, no kidding. If you have a team house,
for people like me, that's what I do. So I don't know this map that well, really. So there's a possibility he found something neat out about TBT here.
Oh, nicely done here by MVP, putting an engineering bay there. Now, that will be killed off, but that is going to buy him a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, those Marines are right there, or it should have taken a lot longer.
And you know what? That's true, but guess what he got to see there? He saw combat shields on the Marines. So
sure, yeah.
He has a good idea of where Bbyong is in this game right now and what he's doing, what he's spending money on. You see that many Marines. That's pretty reasonable. And he is going for really quick stim as well. Excuse me. And he's actually... This is interesting. Oh, okay. Some of the Marines are up at the top. That's to block this drop that's incoming. Smart move.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Bbyong is prepared for everything. We got Banshees coming up here next. This is kind of an oddly timed out Banshee attack, by the way.
Yeah, and
you are not going to expect. You're going to not expect Banshees after this Hellion.
Especially not
Marine
cloaked ones, right?
Yeah, exactly. So he might even neglect turrets over here.
Yeah.
And the Hellions are about to unload over here in Bbyong's main base. Now, he's going to get these Marines, no problem, but what he really wants to go to the SCVs, and that's what he's going for right now. The SCVs retreating, and they're all going to get away.
So quick of a retreat right there.
He actually probably should pick up and leave. I don't
know if he can get out of here with these. In fact, his medevac already left. These Hellions are stuck behind enemy lines, tasteless.
Yep, and it's too bad because normally a Hellion drop will almost always pay for itself. Oh, wait. Nope. Okay, never mind.
Almost. Well, you know what? He killed off a few Marines here and there, so it's not, like, completely busto. So, Cloak is going to be finishing up pretty soon here. One Banshee already out, second one has started, and he is going mech once again. No big surprise here from MVP.
All right, so we're going to see MVP turtle for a little bit. Map control will go to Bbyong, which is actually totally normal for what these guys are doing right now.
Yeah.
But we're going to see if Bbyong can kind of capitalize on that somehow before MVP then pushes out once again.
Oh!
Perfect. Takes out the medevac.
Well, that's kind of random, but really
yeah,
nice
no
there.
kidding.
I don't think Bbyong or MVP expected that one, but that's really good. And in fact, you know, look at this. This little attack with Stim, he could get a lot here.
With the Marauders in here, too. Yeah, he absolutely could.
He might be able to get the
command center.
What?
In fact, he is.
He's got the command center.
Well, he did not
that
even...
thing's gone.
Well, until this SCV's repair, he could have had it.
No way! He could have gotten that,
Yeah, he should have targeted that. No, he messed that up.
That went down too low.
He could have got that command center, and that would have won him the game. That was actually a big shocker right there. I don't know if he wasn't looking, if he was back macroing, but I feel like there's all... You know, one thing about being a pro gamer is it's not just about being fast and having high APM, which it's almost nauseating how much people talk about players' APM like it actually matters as much as you think it would. But it's about, okay, it takes out the Banshee. It's about knowing priority.
Yeah.
The only thing that mattered in the course of those 5 seconds of that attack was killing the command center.
Yeah.
Do not go back home and do something. Let your money build up. That's fine for right now. Just focus on that because if you win that and then run back, you're going to maintain a lead.
If there's a game-winning move, then you focus on it, and that's what that would have been. But anyways, MVP now getting pretty far ahead. I mean, SCV count 42-39, and when you're playing as the mech player, if you can kill off SCVs of the bio player, they're going to have less bio. They're going to not be able to expand as much, which is those are the two things that they're relying on. So this is becoming an increasingly difficult situation for Bbyong, whereas how low was that command center?
That was at it was under 50 HP.
Yeah, so if he had killed that though, we'd be talking right now about how MVP's basically dead, but as is, Bbyong is behind, and not just we see he's 8 supply behind technically right now, but everything's going really well for MVP at the moment.
All right, another scan here. Miss scan, I would say. Okay, stimming and running in again. And siege mode is not done. Oh, now it is. Excuse me. I was picking up Bbyong siege mode. Sorry. All right, so he's going to continue to come here. Stimming doing a lot of damage. The medevac's healing, but it looks like just barely, somehow, some way, MVP survives that attack.
Yeah. And you know what? He killed off 1 siege tank in that, and then a bunch of Hellions. And... well, it's pretty cool to kill off a bunch of
siege tanks are what's more important to kill, not the Hellions.
But I feel like he didn't get enough there. You should have... if you're going to do attacks like that, trading bio for mech, it's fine. Like, that's actually normally really good for bio. But you need to make sure to get the expensive mech, like siege tanks or Thors.
Right.
When you're killing mostly Hellions, MVP is not going to care. In fact, you just added another factory with reactor. So he's going to have so much buffering potential here. With those Hellions, he's just going to have so many of them out. In fact, I love the fact that he's going for this style of mech right now with the 4 packs. It's perfect against this craziness that Bbyong keeps on sending out, like the same groups of units and trying to attack.
Also, it's important to note that the more siege tanks MVP has, the more of a lead he's going to get. Basically, when you're meching as Terran, all you're doing is building up siege tanks the entire game for an inevitable push.
Yeah.
And, yeah, I mean, well, pretty straightforward. If you have too many, and the other guy's still going Marine Marauder medevac, eventually the mech player is going to get that lead.
MVP looks like he's planning on one of these 150 pushes.
Yep,
he's starting to move out right now.
Right.
I don't think he should move out quite yet. And
I think what he's doing, he's just sieging up outside of his entrance so that he can't be contained and have any trouble getting to third base.
Okay, and you know what? That's a really great location, actually, to protect the third base and the natural. So we very well might see him go for a third, which I think is actually the superior way for him to play here.
That was the weirdest move we ever saw. The landing of those Vikings. You're right. He has those Vikings over there to deny any drops. As that would probably be one of the best moves Bbyong could do, would be to drop.
Oh, he's
and now MVP's moving out.
Yeah, he's going for this one.
All right.
Well, here we go. And this is the 150 supply push. It's just he's lost a lot of units this game, so he's only at like 130. But
normally, if he had not taken that much damage, MVP would have 150 supply.
Very similar timing on it, and he knows he's killed enough units that this might be okay anyways.
Right.
And I like the idea behind it a lot, but I feel like he can sit back a bit more. We'll see if this works out.
Now, and it looks uses SCVs to tank damage as well as auto repair.
Yeah. Now Bbyong getting in there, and he's getting his Marauders on the tanks a little bit, but he might just barely not have enough.
And very nicely done with the Viking saying, wait a minute, I don't need these as much anymore in the air. He might as well land them. He lands them now. Then picking one back up to spot for siege mode. Rapidly, MVP is approaching, either the third or the second base, depending on where he deems his army needs to go.
He needs to pull back right now, I think. I really do. I'm getting a little bit nervous for him. He is rallying down, which is, he needs to rally down, obviously, but with these medevacs, only one Viking.
He needs to do that or, send more SCVs with his army, I think. Siege tank sieging up over here. But there's a good amount of Marauders over here.
I feel like he can lift up in the medevac and get on the tanks before one Viking stops him, And that's making me a bit nervous for MVP here. I feel like he's overextending.
I 100% agree. I think this could be an overextension, but then again, if Bbyong doesn't handle this perfectly, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. SCVs being pulled, coming out here now, and they are getting annihilated right now.
Where's the rest of Bbyong's army? Oh my God, he actually, they were all sitting there forever. That was all supposed to hit at the same time. He could have crushed this army. He still will kill it off, I think.
Well, more Hellions are coming down now.
This is not the...
No, he'll hold this. Oh, no, maybe he won't. Excuse me. Marauders are pretty good.
And Marauders are all right against siege tanks. If they
I guess. All right, now MVP is continuing to hold this location.
This
is a scrappy game.
He bungled that, man. Like, he had half of his units on the side when those SCVs came up. If he hit with everything at once with the drops, plus the SCVs, plus the units he stemmed from his ramp, he crushes that. And he's on 3 base.
MVP not playing as well as we're used to seeing here. A little bit of a shocker.
But
the orbital's getting low, and it looks like Bbyong's going to pick up.
I think even though he's not playing, as well as you said, we're oftentimes used to seeing, Bbyong is forced into this weird situation where it's kind of scrappy, as you said. But MVP has, through a couple of mistakes of Bbyong, it looks like he's basically securing the victory. Look at this.
Yep. And now he's taking out the workers over there. I think if Bbyong doesn't fix this in the next minute or two, I think this could be GG. It looks like he's going to try to drop from behind over here, but the element of surprise certainly isn't there, and the Hellions are there to tank that damage.
Yeah, and MVP is looking pretty solid. I mean, he's got 33 SCVs against 29 of his opponent. In fact, Bbyong is barely mining from anywhere but his main, which is almost empty.
All right, very nicely done. Catching this small band of Marauders and actually just leave it in. He says, all right, that's low enough. I don't need to worry about that.
That was the one unit that Bbyong could have broken the little contain on him.
Right. Oh, let's see, we're going to tee it once again here.
See, now just as those units come back, he's trying to break it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, here, look at this. It killed quite a bit. Imagine if he had actually... GG. All right. So imagine for a second, Tasis, if Bbyong actually, during those 2 periods, well, the second period would never happen.
I felt like MVP didn't win the game. I felt like Bbyong lost it.
Yes.
You know?
I feel like MVP, for certain, overextended.
Yeah.
And Bbyong did not hit from... If he hit from the 3 sides with that SCV timing, the drop, and the stim from the ramp, he crushes that army, and he has 3 bases against a mech player that just lost all his tanks. And I feel like that is exactly what Bbyong wins from. Exactly.
I agree.
You put him in that situation, I think he beats anyone in the world. He screwed up that break. And I think that's exactly why he lost.
I do agree with you. I think he didn't handle that as well as he could have. It was really funny as MVP's coach walked by. He gave us the thumbs up. So cute. All right, guys, we're going to take a 5-minute break. When we come back, we're going to have a PVZ. So stay tuned here at the GSL Code S.